Good evening and welcome to Hell of a Show. We're going to get started on this shortly. First off, if you'll let me know you can see and hear me, I'd certainly appreciate that. And then we will start getting into the sponsor list. And we have already got some people in here, which is great. One of my guests is in here. The first up in here, of course, is Eve is in here first. Thank you, Eve, for being here. Let's make sure we get these shares out there as well and let everybody know what's going on. And let's go ahead and get the first business taken care of. That is for my girl right there. Love you, baby. And let's see. Forever going to demonize Phil over the intro. Oh, absolutely. And we're working on expanding on it. Not changing, expanding. More information on that in the next couple of weeks. And Shawnee is in here. Thank you, Miss Shawnee, for being here. And Christopher says, see and hear you. Excellent. The Bionic Eye is here. David, welcome back. We have got, oh, Matt Knowles is in here. What's up, buddy? Play some rock music. You get Matt showing up. That's great. Hey, I appreciate everyone being here. Since we know we can see and hear me, I'm going to get started into this because I've got a list of things that I want to go through as far as sponsors. Things are changing with the show, which is actually good. I'm working on some big changes on there, and that's starting off with my sponsor list. So let's go ahead and get started there. Of course, we have Jim Noble, Totally Rad Comics. And right now he doesn't have anything on the campaigns. But if you go to his web store, he has all kinds of stuff on there. And I think he still has the Valentine's covers, if I'm not mistaken, as well. Don't miss out on those. And we have got, let me see here. Several of my sponsors are actually here tonight, so I'm trying to kind of maneuver a little bit. You'll have to bear with me on that one. Tom Hutchison of Big Dog Inc. Right now doesn't have a current campaign, just finished up with a big one. That was fun. And looking forward to the next one, absolutely. And I believe he'll be coming back the end of next month. There'll be more information on that coming up in the next couple of weeks. Next up, let's go ahead and start going through the ones that we've got here, basically. So we have Wendy Steen-Shaner with Naughty Fairies. She is one of my guests that is here tonight, and she is one of my sponsors, and I thank her very much for being a sponsor on here. Another of my sponsors that is on here is CB Zane. CB Zane has got Into the Suck, Part 6. Do not miss out on the closing out of that arc on the series, and if you haven't caught up in the meantime, there is a catch-up tier on there. Get on that series. And then we have got Luis Torres. Unfortunately, Lewis cannot be with us on the panel tonight. We're working on some things, but real life work and everything caught up to him. And that's fine because we're going to go ahead and destroy this. I mean, we're going to go ahead and take care of this baby for him tonight and make sure, give it the good care it needs. But Luis Torres and Codex Entertainment is another one of my sponsors. And let me go ahead and tell you the new ones that we've got since I've got your attention now. One new sponsor that I got on here, and here go the jaws dropping on this one because I was excited to go ahead and add him on. Steph Wilson is an official sponsor of the show now, an official sponsor. So that is very exciting, and we're looking forward to seeing what all she can do. I mean, what all he can do with everything on here. What she really can draw. And then we have got Moto's Glass. Moto's Glass is big on glass etching. And you're going to get to see some amazing things as things are being sent to me as we speak and should be here hopefully within a week. So I will keep you posted on that one. And we've had some more people show up in here. We've got Larry showed up in here. Appreciate you being here. Yes, you are in time. Absolutely. Hey, as long as you show up and I'm still talking, it's in time. And there's no really a time frame on there. So I've gone through my sponsor list, talked about some things that are happening. So now we're going to go ahead and bring up what tonight is all about, is about one campaign in particular, which is Nebula Pearl. Now, instead of bringing up the one person up here that's, taking care of this thing, well, you can't do that with Nebula Pearl. Nebula Pearl is a mind meld. It's several people who are working together to create this entire project. So we brought those brains up onto here tonight. So let's go ahead and start introducing and getting these people out here. We're going to start off with Kara Nicolas here. And we have got Wendy Steen-Shaner is here. CB Zane. Mike Shoemaker's here.
Howdy!
Excellent. I am so happy to have all of y'all on here. Thank you all for being here. I'm looking forward to this. This is a panel about one project, and this is not your normal panel. Usually whenever I have a panel, it's, there's an artist doing this, there's someone doing this, whatever. Each of you has a piece of the story that's been worked on with this, which is interesting because it's basically, you write something, you pass it off, you write something, you pass it off. Yeah, we used to do that in school, and that never went out well. But this thing looks like it turned out pretty well so far. So we're going to be talking about that as we go along. I want to kind of start off with, how did we get started on this? How did it get started on, Lewis getting started with the project and then getting this going? Who came up with the idea of, let's go ahead and put all these brains together on this one instead of one person writing?
Well, that was all Lewis. Lewis had come to me and talked to me about it a while ago, and he was like, what do you think about this project? I'm kind of thinking this would be fun. What do you think? Do you want to do this? And I said, yeah, if you do it, let me know. I'm down, because I was so excited. I thought this is going to be so much fun. And then from there, I think he started approaching all of us and put us all into a pot on a randomizer and gave us slots, and you're starting, you're going next. And then we went down the line. So I think that's pretty much how it started. At least that's my understanding from what I saw. So I don't know if he did anything different with anybody else.
Mm-hmm. Now, is it each of your own styles being put into there? Because, Cara, I wanted to go ahead and kind of ask you, because with Fire Bitch, you have a totally different style of writing on there, which is great, because I haven't laughed that hard at reading a book in quite some time because of some of the one-liners and things, and I still use those to this day. Not in public because it usually gets me in trouble. But is it one of those things where you use your own style in there as well as telling the story, or do you have to kind of, adapt to everyone else's style?
Well, Alfred and I started the book, so we were at the beginning. So I think that you guys all kind of had to go off what we did. But I never thought of my style or his style, because it's a different book. It's different characters. It's a different scenario. And so, I mean, I don't know. I would ask that question to them. I don't know, Wendy, what do you think? Do you think that I changed styles? I don't know. It's not something I really thought about.
No, well, for me, what I had to do is I had to really focus. I read through yours over and over again, because I wanted to make sure, one, I had the characters, I had the places, some of the lingo and the terminology, because that's not something I write with. So I took what Alfred had done and really studied it. So when I wrote it, I tried to make it very seamless. So I guess I kind of changed how I wrote to match what you had done. So it was more of a blended, cohesive thing, put in comments here and there, or have characters do certain things based off of what you and Alfred started with.
Well, and then, if you notice from the art, I'm sure we all saw this, that it was different than what we had envisioned. So, there was a scene in there that I had in my mind, and I even wrote it very specifically, this is what I want the artist to do here, and they didn't do it. And I was really disappointed, and I'm like, we could have done that, but, this is a group cohesive project, so.
Now, Mike, I wanted to go ahead and ask you, because coming from doing, Scorpiana, things like that, and all, whenever you're coming from that kind of storyline and then you're moving into something like this, how much of a change was there going into the manga style?
Well, I didn't really consider the art style, to be really honest with you. I knew that it was a space fantasy. I love space fantasy. I love space opera, that kind of thing. But the big thing in my case was that how do I put this? Never in a million years would I have originated the concept of writing a story about a ship full of murderous catwomen. Okay. And I'm Mr. Hero. I'm Mr. Good guy, or at the very least, if it's an anti-hero, it's more like Han Solo than it is, say, someone who just happens peripherally to do the right thing, but is at heart not a good person, And so it was a case of where, when I was given my slot and I read what had come before, instead of leaving my comfort zone, which I steadfastly refused to do under most circumstances, except for being at gunpoint, I just basically said, how do I reel this thing back into my comfort zone? And I said, well, there's a way to do that and maintain continuity with what has come before, and that's that actions have consequences. And that, well, these people do some pretty not nice things, and eventually it's going to catch up with them. And you couple that with the fact that I'm just an action guy. I was like, this is where the action's going to start. We've gotten the setup. Now here's your conflict. And, understanding your basic storytelling, this was the perfect place to introduce that in the sort of the third quadrant of the four quadrants. And I knew I was handing it off to a guy who would know exactly how to finish that thing up strong, because he happens to be my collaborator on Scorpion and just does a breathtaking job. And so I just said, all right, here's this killer combat cyborg who is going to come in and chase these cats around, as it were, and let's see what he does with the finish. And by gum, he just stuck it. So I can just say that it came together even beyond my expectations. I knew it would be fun, and I knew it would be good. But I just really feel like everybody knocked their respective parts out of the park. And other than me, mine was the worst part by far. And basically, CB had to recover from my ineptitude. But, once he got over that and said, okay, how can I salvage something out of this and make this a great book? He did it. So there you go. But seriously, it was a really, really fun project, fun thing to do. I had a great time interfacing with Lewis and everybody else, and just putting my unique little stamp on things. And I think that if people pick this book up, I think that they're going to be pleased with how well it runs together, and they're going to really enjoy it. I really believe that.
It seems like a very fun book. I mean, it's got a lot of the artwork on there is on par. I mean, there's some amazing covers that are available, and then you look at the interior art that you're able to see in the campaign itself whenever you're kind of doing a sneak peek. It really gets your attention. And CB, I wanted to go ahead and get with you on this one, because you and I had just a week ago, you were on the show, and we got to discussing about Nebula Pearl, and it was supposed to be a small discussion, and the audience had a different thought on that, and they decided to expand on it a little bit more, and we did. And we were kind of talking about, the fact that you did the last part of it, and you were hoping that you didn't destroy the whole thing, that, you rounded it off and all, and you were worried about that. And
right.
I don't see a problem with that. I don't see Lewis signing off on anything if it's going to be a train wreck. I think it'd be okay the way that it is, and the way that all of you work together on this cohesively. My thing is with the artwork, whenever you're doing a couple of the covers, because you did 2 or 3 of the covers on there.
Actually, I think I only have 1 cover for Nebula Pearl.
Is it only the one?
One.
Okay. You've got a lot of stuff that you're working on right now, because I keep seeing yours on different stuff, so I'm kind of getting mixed up on that. But with what you did on there, it's definitely got that CB feel to it. But what was it like making a cover with the manga style on there for you? Because I know that's something that is different.
You know what? It's funny you mention that, because that really is more of what I would call my zany style. It has
zany.
Yeah. And so Lewis approached me about doing it in that style. And I don't think any of us, maybe even Lewis himself, didn't even know this was going to be manga style to begin with. I think he found an art style that fit the story after the fact. But I don't think any of us knew it was going to be that. And he had asked me to do that cover zany style. And I mean, seeing what he was putting together, it fit, because it does have, I guess, kind of a manga feel to it. But I can tease right now, I've actually done a couple covers, one for a project that Lewis hasn't even talked about yet, that is true manga style. And I've done a true manga style cover for Might that will be making an appearance like later on when it's time appropriate. But so that when you see that, I think you'll see what the difference is between like my zany style and trying to go full manga, which I always wanted to try. I don't want to live in that world per se, but it was fun to do it. So, that's where that cover came from. And, luckily I had the story to work on, which to me is very important when I'm doing the cover. Usually I like to know something about the characters, or I like to know something about the story, because I don't know, I like to bring a little bit of the character into the art, and so I knew that. So I could play on that space idea. So I went with, well, let's turn things topsy-turvy, and I did the zero gravity cover where they're just kind of floating all over, and I threw a heart-shaped pillow in there because it fits the story, and then a blanket and stuff like that. So that's basically where that came from.
Very cool. And Tommy's in here saying, Kara, and she got the shirt. They're all four wearing the shirt over there. Actually, we're all matching. Mine is just camouflage. No, they're all matching shirts over there with the cool looking Nebula Pearl setup on there, which right now you go look at it. I need some help with this campaign because my OCD is going nuts right now. It has been setting at 199 backers for just a couple hours on here, and that's driving me insane. I want to get that little tip over to get to 200. So we need that tip over before I have a nervous breakdown. I'm just saying it. We don't want that here.
Yeah.
So we definitely need to share that out and get that out there. The link is in the top of both Facebook pages and the YouTube. If you go look on it, you'll see all the links are in there for Nebula Pearl. I even put the link in there for Into the Suck Volume 6 as well. So go out there, share these out, get them going, and let's get that tip over to 200. I want to see that before the end of the show. I definitely want to see that.
Yeah, let's do that.
And let me see. We've got Tommy said, I've been sharing as much as I can. Excellent. And Larry, I know 200 means you're cute. We got to get cute on this one. I mean, we're going for sexy, but cute is good. You got to start off somewhere. You got to walk before you can crawl.
Well, and let's talk about one of the upcoming stretch goals, and that's the little tripod kitty sticker.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So if you support this campaign, you are supporting an adorable little kitten who was hit by a car, and Luis saved him, and he lost his leg, and his hand was broken too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And Luis rescued this kitten that was roadkill and saved him and took him to the vet. Vet bills are expensive, and they did have to amputate his little baby kitten arm, and he's the cutest little guy and just playful and wonderful. So even if you're not in support of the book, support the cat.
Yeah.
That's in.
Little Try is adapted marvelously, and he's got a loving home, and Lewis just couldn't have done a nicer thing by that little kitty. And as a cat guy and a multiple cat owner myself, I commend him just as highly as I possibly can. I mean, and yes, that I also told him that cat needs an Instagram and needs a Patreon, and it is a selling point. Little Try is going to be a selling point and going to bring home the bacon for him. So he needs to get on monetizing that. That's right.
Exactly.
I ask for update pictures all the time. Like, Lewis, I need my tripod kitty fix.
That's exactly it. Tripod is he's going to make Lewis an internet phenomenon, irrespective of Kickstarted comics, and so he can use that to fund a comics empire, a vast comics empire. and he can repay Little Tripod with as many treats and as much of the good food as he wants. It'll be a perfect arrangement.
Exactly. And for those of you that are out there that like first appearances and whatnot, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the first appearance of Tripod Yuri on a cover, which Steph Wilson did, correct?
I believe that is correct.
Okay. Oh, excellent. I didn't know Steph had worked Try into a cover. That's beautiful. Oh, man. That's like 2 home runs off of one bat.
But the question is, though, did Luis get a discount? Because it's not like Steph had to draw all the limbs.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Knowing Lewis, he did.
Now, I'm just going to say that even though Lewis isn't here, he messaged me and said, even though he's not here and he's having to work, he's keeping the headphones in. So he's listening to everything. So whatever we say, razzing him and everything, he's going to end up talking to us about it later. So let's make sure it's a good one.
Well, no, he's probably sharpening a knife somewhere, just to make sure. They better not say anything too untoward, or I'm coming for him. I worry about that guy sometimes.
Well, in that case, let's tell the real story of how this went down. So Lewis is here, and he's messaging me and Wendy, and he's like, I don't know what to do next. I feel like a miserable failure. And Wendy, I think, was the one that was, well, let's do something. Let's do a mind meld. You got to contact Kara and Alfred. They have a million ideas. Go with it. And he was like, you really think so? And you're like, it'll make you feel better. Go rescue a cat or something. And lo and behold, he rescues a cat. He contacts Kara and Alfred, and this is where we're at. That's the true story behind all of this.
Okay.
Now I know. Wendy, what do I do?
I was honestly afraid you were about to say that he mangled the cat's leg just for the merchandising. I was a little afraid, but fortunately, that was just my messed up imagination. So
yeah,
I wouldn't have said that. I was just afraid somebody was.
Just not that desperate.
Okay, I'm glad of that.
Yeah.
Mike, you got to pay attention to Wendy up there, because when that smile starts getting smaller and smaller, you've said too much about mangling the arm and whatnot.
I was like, no.
It's like a smileometer, as it were. It rises and falls depending on the mood of the cat. So yeah, I totally get it.
Now, the other thing that I wanted to bring up is the collaboration that was going on between several projects that are on there to make a connecting set. And 3 of those people are here tonight. Lewis is the only one that is missing in this. That as long as you backed Fire Bitch 2, as long as you backed the Online Con 2. How are we calling that? 21 2? What are we calling that?
Yeah, it's just Naughty Fairy Comic Con 2021.
There you go. I want to make sure I get the right name on there, because there's so many different variations you can do with that.
Yeah.
That can't be the only Naughty Fairy Comic Con for 2021. There's got to be a part 2 or 3. I mean, the first one did well, and then I would think.
Yeah.
We need conventions.
Once a year is good.
Okay.
It's a lot. So, if I do the Naughty Fairy Cons once a year, I'm good with that.
All right.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we have CB Zane with End of the Suck, Volume 6, and then, of course, Lewis with Nebula Pearl. And as long as you back all 4 of those, you get the connecting set, which is really cool looking, because it's in a different style that's on there, and all of it connects together. It looks amazing whenever you do that. So there's no reason that you should not back all of these and should not have done so.
And if you didn't, you can still get in on it through the CrowdOx and Backer Kit. So I know Kara's doing CrowdOx. I'm doing Backer Kit. So if you missed it, you can still get in on those, both of those campaigns, because, Kara did hers first, then mine, and then it was CB's, and now it's Lewis. And because it was spread out over the last 2 months, we wanted to make sure people still had an opportunity to get in on those cross promotions, because we love our indie community and we love helping one another.
And y'all definitely work well together in doing all of this. And I don't think all of y'all have worked together on a project before, correct?
Well, we've kind of not like this.
Not like this,
right.
No.
Not like this.
Right.
And we've all kind of we're a dirty bunch. We swap.
It's a very open relationship, to say the least.
High five.
Well, it was good being on Facebook while I was on here. I'm fixing to be in banned territory again.
Sorry about Karen.
I knew I was winning the wrong
second. For just a second, Phil was really excited and scared to death what was underneath.
No, I already knew because I had her in the backstage before, so I already knew what was there. The magic of being behind the curtain sometimes.
Well, you know, we're producing the show.
Speaking of curtains, we are wearing them right now.
Isn't that the truth? Oh my God.
This is the shirt you sent me. Alfred and I fit in this together.
I believe it.
Now, we have Tommy's asking a question on here, and yeah, we already answered about how it came about with Nebula Pearl, but the second part of that is what I want to get into is, are there plans for future issues? Hush, hush.
You know, I had asked Lewis that question, and I don't know that he is exactly sure. He wants to do it again, I believe. He was very pleased with how this one turned out, and it may just come down to this one kind of being a one-off, and then with the same random approach he used the last time, and whoever goes first, I guess, would do the setup. Then the next Mind Meld might well be something that CB or Wendy or even I would originate if it comes to that. So I think that you know, that approach is a very intriguing one, because then you're not then you're just exploring new territory every time you do it, and so you know it would just kind of be a very interesting approach. So hopefully he's been thinking about that, and once this Nebula Pearl kicks out the jams and finishes up strong, then you know, discussions can commence on the next project, and that would be very, very cool.
Exactly. Yeah. Plus, it does leave it open for, you know, he could actually bring in other people to get involved and do a mind meld with other minds there. So it takes
sure. Well, he's talked openly about looking forward to firing me from the project. So, you know, just you know, there'll be at least one slot.
I can tell you, and some of you have heard this from other group chats and stuff that we've all done, a few things. The character Brandy Love is actually named after my cousin, and that is her name. And someone said, "Oh, she must be in the adult industry." It's like, no, that was her birth name. Brandy Love. She has last name too. Her name is Brandy Love.
Legitimate name, yeah.
Yeah, and that's actually, you know, my cousin's name. So, you know, and it's funny though that they assume she was in the adult industry, and it's like, no, that was just the name her mama gave her.
Yeah, it's not like her name is Sapphire Valentine or something, you know, stripper.
No, not like that at all. And Janique is named after a mutual friend of Alfred and mine. I love the name. I thought it was kind of fun and out there. But we took part of the concept of the ship and everything from Red Dwarf.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
Alfred had no idea. They didn't have that in Mexico.
And Chris is saying, my former sis-in-law's middle name was Love. Middle name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you know, Love is a fairly common last name. I mean, I think the backup quarterback for the Green Bay Packers is Jordan Love, something like that.
I can't believe you went there, Mike. Is it Scout Chicago? You dare bring up
and the Packers kick the crap out of the Bears every year, so you know I probably shouldn't even mention. But I was just using a real life example I was familiar with. You know your enemy, as it were. You know, kind of thing.
Now, speaking
I don't usually share this, but my first middle and last name is Love.
Oh, wow. Holy cow!
And I just use this pseudonym.
See, and I thought it was.
Chris in the chat, go Packers! Oh my God! Oh no, you're hurting me, Chris. Hurt me.
I gotta rethink relationship stuff here afterwards. Now, speaking of love, I want to go ahead and bring up that I absolutely love those prints that are behind Wendy, and I want to go ahead and showcase those since you want them off, because I know where those come from, and I know I've got 2 of them coming to me.
Yeah.
So let me go ahead and give
It's
you a
hard
screen
to
on
see
this one.
because they're super shiny, but these are the medals for the Into the Suck campaign that's happening. They're super reflective and just beautiful. These are the Keith Garveys. So there you go.
And that one that Wendy's showing right now is the Cupid Red. It's a Valentine's special, and this is the Back in Black.
Nice. Both of them are gorgeous.
And these are comic-sized prints, and you can get both of them for one low price, and I don't know how many are even left.
I believe there's only 4 sets that are remaining out of the 20. You can get individual ones after that, but right now there's only 4 sets remaining, and that's after 3 days, I think, 2 days.
They went fast. They're going fast.
Yeah.
So you don't want to miss out on these, because these are a one and done. That's it. You're not going to be able to hook up with those after.
I definitely got mine on that one. That's why I wanted to bring that up, because I saw those behind you, and I'm just like, oh, please, I can't wait to have those right in front of me.
No doubt.
Yeah, and Keith Garvey did another bang up job. He's such a talented artist and such a good guy. And I knew I wanted to bring him back on Into the Suck, and I had people even asking about it, so that was a perfect opportunity. So I'm excited. And Wendy kind of talked me through it, and she's like, hey, I can help you out. And I was like, Wendy, you're the best. We sent hugs across the nation, and so you get to see the wear.
So that's why they're here and not at CB's house.
Right.
I was worried about, I was worried if I sent them, then they would be lost somewhere in transit and never arrive, and nobody would see them. So at least this way, people can see that they are real. They're here. They're shiny.
Oh,
yes.
Very good.
Very.
They're like these I call like the magical metals, because they're so reflective. They're almost like a mirror surface, which is different than what you think of like some of the traditional metals. So these are extra special and magical.
Now, we're talking about some of the artwork and stuff. Let's go ahead and go back to Nebula Pearl on this. Who are some of the artists that we've got involved in this? Because we know we've already mentioned about CB Zane has got a cover in there. Who else has done some work in there? Definitely Cara and Alfred, yes.
We have, I know, and David Harrigan has done, I think, more than one. And he is the main cover. Main homage. And it's awesome. Beautiful colors on it.
You have Harrigan.
And then
Step Wilson did a cover, because you've got the Ramen Kitty, and then you've got the set of 3 girls. I think 4. The 4 girls.
Yep.
And then I'm trying to think who else. Well, can you pull up the Kickstarter page, Phil, so we can look at it?
So let me go ahead and I'm gonna bring this up. Let me get it set up here so we can actually do a share screen, and I'll show you what's going on here. We're still only 1 backer away from 200. Come on, come on, come on.
I know.
All right, let's see. So here is the actual campaign.
Oh, there we go.
And that's what happens right there with the sticker that's right there on the edge.
Everybody needs Tripod Kitty Yuri, because I keep trying to claim him, and he's not budging.
Yeah.
Just so cute. I just love it.
Now here's the standard cover that we were talking about with David Harrigan.
Yeah.
I so love that cover.
It is so beautiful.
Yeah, that is very nice for a standard cover. I mean, usually your standard cover is, your base design, not much to it, whatever. This is actually one of the first ones that caught my attention. I was like, wow, that's amazing. And then you keep going and you're like, well, I don't have that much in the budget, so I got to really start figuring things out.
Yeah.
Some of the interiors, which are very cool looking. It does have that manga style, but it's like a modern manga. It's a very different looking style to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then some of your variant covers that are there. There's Steph Wilson, and who did this one over here? That's CB,
I
right?
don't know. Some schlub.
Yeah, CB, the man of the hour.
Yeah. That's my zero gravity cover.
There's Karen Alfreds.
Yep.
I mean, there's quite a few covers that are available on here and very different styles showing.
I
There's got
love
some very cool
you
stuff.
get the patch.
Yes.
Like that's
Right.
really
And then, of course, your pinups.
Mhm.
And thank you, Lewis, for going ahead and having these things censored before I get on here.
unlike
Well,
some of his
if you-
posts. Just
right. If you remember, that was too hot for Kickstarter before.
Oh,
It
yeah.
almost
It was
happened,
briefly
remember?
too hot.
Yeah, it actually did it get dropped? I know it was once. Did it get twice that it was rejected, and then he tried the third time and it came through, or is it second?
No, the second time was golden.
Okay. So here's some of the stretch
Bigger
goals.
circles.
The Chibi stickers are amazing, and you got to get the freaking Yuri sticker added into there. That just, it has to happen.
And you know what? While you're passing it, the Becky Fuller, the tarot cards she's been putting out are so cool. And they are going to be such an awesome collection for people because she's got her hand in like so many different campaigns. I know I'm holding on to a few of them for future campaigns of mine as well. It's really going to be something cool. I hope people are paying attention to it because it's going to be an awesome collection.
Yeah, because I have 3. You have 2.
Me?
He's got the one. I know Tom Hutchinson has some now.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna end up with a really nice set of cards if you're paying attention, like CB said, and backing all these different independent projects because she's everywhere.
She even did one for a project I'll be launching in the hopefully next few months for my superhero Scarlet Steel, and it looks great. So yeah,
Nice.
and CB made the acquaintance story, and
Oh, she's awesome. She's doing such a great job.
Yeah, I've got to say, I was well pleased with it.
And you see, as we're going through, I mean, these are very obtainable stretch goals, no problem whatsoever, and some really cool stuff getting into.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, going with Lewis, at the end he's going to throw something big in there, and that's something big at the end for the 20,000. And I've told him before that 20,000 is not where you need to stop there. You need to put it like 30,000 or so because that's where he usually ends up. So right now the priority is 200. I'm telling you, my OCD 200 backers. We need that now, and then we'll start working to 20,000. We can hit the 200 backers and then just immediately go to 20,000. I think we'd all be happy with that.
I think we have to start talking Super Troopers and be like, that has to happen right now.
Right meow.
Right now.
Yeah.
And here are the other 2 covers that were unlocked, which are cool because they actually read backwards from what we're used to in there. So it's true manga style, which I think is a very cool idea of doing it that way. And then the etchy covers, which damned if I didn't have to add a couple of those on. Just when you think you're gone, they pull you back in. Yeah. And of course, here it is. That's the first appearance of Tripod Yuri Kitty right there.
Yeah.
So cute.
Oh.
And Lewis has done such a nice job embracing like this manga look. I mean, not only like the covers and the look of the book, but even the way that he's presenting this Kickstarter, the background stuff. I know he created a lot of that. He's done a really cool job, and I know it's something that he's become really passionate about. Telling these manga style stories. Even trying to write that style, direct his art that style. So.
David says I have to draw her for shits and giggles. Love it. Yeah, absolutely, David. You got to have some fun with that. I know you could.
Oh yeah.
And Tommy says hope it gets all the way. Absolutely.
Yep.
And Larry went ahead and reiterated the book too hot for Kickstarter. That is absolutely true.
Yep.
But wait, there's more.
Right.
Trevor Grace,
that was
and
the
that's
one
a lot
that
of
got
naughty.
sold, right? This was the
Yeah.
one that got sold. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
if that actually comes with those, you can actually do that with Pog covers. That'd be really cool. Removable Pogs with all the naughty things on there. That way you could just put them back in place, in naughty Pogs, and then remove them as you need to. Just an idea. Lewis, if you're listening, that's just an idea. Justin Hunt. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff on here, and it just keeps going and getting more available. And this looks like, your T-shirts that y'all have got.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's all kinds of cool stuff. There's your cross promo that we were talking about earlier. So if you have backed Fire Bitch 2 and the Naughty Fairy Con 2, then you're in on that one as long as you do the other two, which are available right now. If you haven't gotten on them, go jump on there. But if you for some reason missed out, you still have a chance to go over there on CrowdOx and Backer Kits and be able to jump on so that you can go ahead and get this.
Yep.
Now, who do we message to let y'all know that we did all of this? Or is that part of the CrowdOx Backer Kit, that kind of stuff?
I put it in the survey for mine, and then a lot of people have messaged me and said, okay, I've backed all of them. Just because I don't know if I'm like the central point between Kara and my campaign and mine and CB's and Lewis's, because mine was kind of like crossing all of them. So I've gotten a lot of messages. Plus, we all, I think, do it on our survey anyways. Like, hey, make sure you let us know if you did the cross promotions, because I have like 5 other cross promotions on top of this one. So I always put that in mine. And then I'll give my list, or I'll just say, hey, did you have this, these few people are kind of questionable. I don't know if they did or not. And then, we all just kind of touch base really quick and go on. So that's how we've done it in the past. So yeah, just if you let us know, I mean, because all of us are part of it, so all of us will be able to share the information.
Well, I'm just letting you all know, all parties know right now, I backed all of them.
Thank you, Phil.
I want my connecting set. It's an OCD thing. I swear y'all do this to me on purpose.
Yeah. You and Justin, we usually have meetings and talk about what can we do to fill today.
I know. It's like you angle it right out there and go, you can only have this if you get all 16 campaigns. Ha ha ha. Yeah, all right.
I'm gonna have to remember the OCD part so that I can build that into the marketing. I'm learning as I go here from these pros.
Mike, I back yours anyway, so it's already I know. On a 1 and 2 and keep going with everything.
I'm just saying, how can I get Phil to cash in the 401k so he gets into the highest tier of, the project there? Oh, wait a minute. Interconnecting covers, you say? All right. That kind of thing.
Now, on this one, go ahead and bring up, because this one is a collaboration that's between Nebula Pearl and Night Titan. However you say that. Don't say it, just get it.
Xeno Nano Nuno Titan.
There you go.
Yep.
What is it? Xerox something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely get on that. Just go look for the one campaign that starts with an X and just back it. Just get on there and back the X. That's all you got to do. Russell Allen is running this one right now, and it's he has books from the heart, is what he always calls it and everything. This is definitely one of those that's like that, and there's a lot more involved. So whenever you get on there, don't just go to back it, go and read what all it's about and see the kind of passion that's put behind this project, and don't miss out on that. But if you get on there and Nebula Pearl, you get this as well. So it's just a little bit of extra that you get on there.
I also warned Russ that if Raziel is going to make a stop on the Nebula Pearl, that he needs to make sure that he doesn't drink anything that they hand him, and not to turn it back on him at any point. Just be very, very careful.
You don't know where it's been.
No, I'm just telling you, or what they put in it. Next thing you know, he's going to be like hanging upside down in a meat locker. It's going to be, not nice.
Oh yeah, you got to be careful with all that.
Those are some bad kitties, I'm telling you.
Well, I mean, we've got some great work that's out there, some great projects that have been running, and some things that are going, things that have already finished, and then people are going to be working on some new things that are coming out there. Wendy, you've got something that's going to be coming up. How soon is your next project that you're going to be working on?
I'm hoping to get it going by the end of March, beginning of April. So
nice.
Hopefully very soon. And then Steph and I have a project that we're working on that'll come out in the summertime. So that one is going to be super fun.
In the chat, Johnny nailed it.
So we're going along.
Very cool. And you did mention something earlier before we went live about you're about to go pick up the books for Comic Unity as well.
Yes, I'm going Saturday picking up books. There's 1,745. So we've got 1,745 books that we're picking up, and they are ready to go. I talked to the printer today. So it's just a matter of, finishing out my work week and then heading out. So I'm super excited.
And then we're going to get together and cause some trouble, right?
I'm sorry?
Then we're going to get together and cause some trouble.
Oh yeah. No, we've already planned that. Shh. Don't let anybody know. They'll come find us.
Send pictures.
Oh. Video.
I've already seen we already have all the foils, and I sent CB's seen Might, and Tom has seen Catnip, and I have Sireness. So they're so pretty.
Nice.
They're so pretty. So yeah, everything's here. We're just waiting to go this weekend.
Yep.
Now, Cara, what's going on with Fire Bitch 2? How close are we to getting that one in my hands?
Well, as you know, there is, waiting on the printer, the letter, and all that kind of stuff. So we are still in progress. Shooting for a May shipping. I have this came in and this came in, and for those of you that are on the Kickstarter, you can see what's already come in, as far as stretch goals and just different things like that. So yeah, we're getting it. We're working on it.
Yes.
All right, you have to let me do another review on this one, because I did a review on number 1 and actually got printed that what my quote was and all. So I want to see if I can up that one, because with your stuff that you got in there, I just want to see if it'll throw me on the floor rolling around giggling like it did last time. That was good. That was really good.
And that's what I want. I want people to read these books. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's about the covers. And it's like, bitch, I had to write that. Somebody had to draw it. Do you know what it's like fighting with someone to try to get your way about how this story's going to go? So,
hey, trust me, I know. CB, looking at you, pal.
You got to go through the book, make sure you don't say the word national too many times, So I really want people to read these books, all of our books, and enjoy them and enjoy the stories, because they're not just beautiful, sexy covers. There is stories, and there's art, and there's so much more behind it.
Yes.
We were talking about Nebula Pearl, and Mike, you were talking about how you wanted the actions have consequences. And what I wanted in there is that this was done out of desperation.
Right.
People will do things out of desperation. And where is your line of humanity? What will you do to survive? And if your method of survival is at someone else's expense, then is that an appropriate expense? You know what I mean? We go through that every day. So I love that you went with, now there's consequences for it, because it's fuck. And then what happens to you? Where is your line? Okay, I have to do this to survive, but yeah, you know how cats are. Where we get into some fun territory, and how much do you need now? I need this to survive, but I need this to be comfortable, and I need this to be a little more comfortable. And, I just kind of want to sit back now. So where are these lines?
Yeah, because I took it from an instinct point of view. that part of this was instinctual. So, you know, we've got 3 layers of these characters just, you know, from 3 different perspectives. And yet it all worked together and it flows really well. It was so much fun, Kara. You set up you did such a great job setting it up. It was easy to move from that because it was a very clear picture and I felt, you know, you and Alfred did such a great job writing that initial part. It was so well done.
I mean, I can give you a great example. I mean, you talk about it coming from a place of instinct. You look at this guy right here, the xenomorph. The xenomorphs, they do everything they do from a place of instinct. They just want to reproduce. They just want to create a good home for their baby, for their baby, and they're just trying to set things up so that you know, they can propagate the species and that kind of thing. The fact that the other soft, squishy races are that process, that biological process, you know. I mean, you know, the boys will be boys, you know, as it were, when it comes to they're all boys, and then tell them,
you know, don't judge.
Go out and give me some squishy things that I can get the face huggers for. So, you know, and meanwhile, on the flip side of that, the squishy things are like, man, we better do something or we're all just going to like die. So, you know.
I love that. I want that spirit.
Things have purposes. That's all you can say, you know. So if you bite, prepare to get bitten back, I guess, is the way to look at it, you know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And sound effects.
Yes.
Sound effects. Those are the best part.
Right?
So is it set up where we know who's writing what in there, or is it just kind of thrown in there and we figure it out?
No, I think it's outlined, like every 6 pages. It says, you know, this was Karen, Alfred, this was mine, this was Mike, and then this was CB. So it's outlined.
Okay, cool. Very cool. That way I don't have to sit there and try to figure out, and then if I get the wrong answer, I'm like, oh, I feel like a jerk.
Well, actually, I hope you do get the wrong answer. It would be nice if it comes out, and I think it does read pretty seamlessly.
Yeah.
You know, you guys were all talking about styles before, and I don't know that I don't know if I have a style for one as a writer. I just write something that I think fits the environment, fits the character, fits what it needs to fit. In this one, like, I needed it to fit this. My first concern was, how do I bring this story home? And that was my motivation. So I don't know. It's interesting with, you know, styles. I think the story blends well. I mean, I'm most familiar with Mike's writing because we've talked writing for so long. So I can certainly see Mike's influence in the story. But, you know, like I gotten to know Wendy's style. I've seen Kara's in Fire Bitch, and I don't know. I don't know that I can. If someone just handed me that script and said who wrote it, I would have tried to guess one name. Is really what I would say. I don't think I would have picked up on that it was ultimately 4 or 5 different people, really.
Nice.
Yeah. We definitely don't go from, say, you know, iambic pentameter in one section to, you know, haiku in the next. I mean, it's definitely a consistent writing style. And since the subject matter stays the same, it's not like 4 separate chapters or different stories or whatever. Yeah, I think that it's just going to flow very, very seamlessly.
Well, I think men and women write characters very differently, and I love that we have this mix of men and women, because I find that I personally think that men give women too much leeway. They give them too many excuses. We know we're bitches. And we are honest about it. Whereas men, you know, if a man writes something about a woman, you know, being mean or whatever, it's almost like he's cruel, or he has a thing against women, or, oh, he's too nice because he's giving him such a break. And me and Wendy, like, we know what's up. Right, female characters in a little more honest way. You know, at least honest for us. I think that it gives it a good, but then to have that male side as well, I think it was very well rounded.
You know, that really is a great point. I've always felt that, you know, whether anybody wants to admit it or not, I mean, there are some writers who are able to kind of recognize when, for example, they're either giving too much latitude or not enough.
Yeah.
You know, but I think that in a project like this, it really does work to the advantage of the project to have, you know, like you say, you know, you two kind of set it up to where it was like, okay, here we have these ladies, and they are you know, ruthless, and they really if I had started the project with Catwomen, it probably would have been badass women, because that's what I love to write about. I mean, I think CB can tell you, he's known me over 20 years. We were introduced by Dave Napoliello of Peregrine Entertainment. He had done a submission for him with Witchblade. And I was like, this guy's good. I got to write him. So I physically wrote him a letter. And I got a reply back, and we exchanged email. And next thing you know, we're cooking. It only took us 20 years to actually come up with a comic we finally, but, you know, it took that long, you know, for really Kickstarter to become really as big as it is, and that be a viable alternative, because otherwise it was throwing things at existing publishers that didn't really have much of a shot. You know, they do their own things. But you know, he knows I like the badass babe. So you're familiar with the characters from manga, Annapurna and what's the other one? The two cat girls that ride the motorcycles in the futuristic manga that basically wear like leather bikinis, and they pack iron, and then they kill people. I'll think of it, or somebody in the chat hopefully will think of it. But you know, it would have been something kind of more like that. You know, and so when you have guys, they tend to write their female characters, especially your action girls, you know, with a little more of a male sensibility, and they do give them kind of like the way they approached the movie Alien, for example. Ripley was originally, I think she was written as a male character, and then they just cast a female. And it actually worked out well, because she's in a situation she has to assume command and that sort of thing. And it carried over to the next film perfectly, you know, because she has, you know, she was a mother, and she had those sensibilities, but she had to have that steel spine when it came time. And, you know, that's kind of how a guy is going to write a female character typically. You know, they're going to acknowledge the female traits, but they're going to, and they're going to work those in, but they're not as likely, I don't think. Now, there are men who will do this, okay? Don't get me wrong, because there are men who have had many, many bad experiences, maybe with women or something, the incel crowd or whatever you want to call them. And the bottom line is that they might not be as charitable. But I guess I'm trying to say I write about the kind of women I might like to meet. And I like badass, gorgeous women. So guess what I write about? What do you know? It's kind of like when romance novelists that are overwhelmingly female write about the kind of men they want to meet. They are typically these sort of strong, silent alpha male types who, you know, all too frequently wear kilts. It's kind of odd, or they're vampires. But you know, the bottom line. The bottom line is, you know, they write about their preferred type. So, you know, we all do this, you know, and it's just one of those things where it was actually helpful for this story for someone else to write these characters the way they were written, because I wouldn't have done it that way. But it was fun to work with those characters as they were, and to sort of, you know, introduce my spin on them. And it just really clicked. But the observation about the differing sensibilities and approaches to writing different genders, very, very true, very, very appropriate, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Now, in saying that, yeah, go ahead, CB.
I was gonna say it's another form of art. Like for me, being able to dabble in drawing other characters, you know, as an artist, I always put like my little spin on their look, while trying to stay true. And even with the writing, like it was that too. It was, taking this, it was a new art. It was playing with some characters, and for me, I got to play with characters that weren't mine per se, and that was really cool. I love being able to do that. I think of not that this was the way it was done, but the old the Marvel editors, when they would leave and the assistant editors would write some wacky story, assistant editors call it, and they are just the way they wanted. But this one, I have to take what Kara did. So, and Alfred, and play.
Now, what I'd like to do now is I'm going to do something a little bit different, because I always do like a closing statement to get everybody off the stage and, do my thing out here and everything. I want to do something a little bit different tonight and keep everybody up here for this closing statement, because it deals with every one of you and a few that are in the audience and one that is listening on headphones right now. That'd be you, Luis Torres. So I always have a closing statement. Tonight's not going to be any different, except it's going to be a different format, in that tonight it's all about your passion in your work. How much passion do you put into your work? So I want to go ahead and say right now, look at the screen. Look at who's up here right now. These people put passion into their work. Luis Torres puts passion into his work. You've got a few others over here in the comments that put passion into their work. And another one that does right now that I want to go ahead and bring up is this man right here too. Mic Drop went ahead and put the links in here. Thank you very much for that, Mike. I hope you're feeling better too, by the way. Get well soon. And he put in both links in here. Thank you very much for Nebula Pearl and for Into the Suck, because that's the kind of person that he is. So my point is with the passion in your work, you've got all these people up here put this much passion in there, and then they're going to put this into a think tank, into a project that's on campaign right now called Nebula Pearl. How are you going to pass that up? You go and you back Wendy's, you go back CBs, you back Mike's, you back Cara's, you back Lewis's separately. Whenever you've got them all together, how can that go wrong? I just don't see it being a bad setup on there. You've already seen the artwork is on par. The storyline seems amazing. And after tonight's show, you can definitely see that everybody is excited and passionate in what they put out there. And I can tell you right now, knowing these people, if they weren't excited about it, they either wouldn't be on here or they wouldn't be smiling like Wendy's doing right now. And Wendy wouldn't be smiling if it wasn't legit. So I'm telling you, she is excited about this. And if Wendy's excited, that gets a seal of approval that the DemoNation should be looking at. So in closing, I want to say, put the passion in the work that you're doing out there. If you're going to do something, do it all the way. Don't half-ass anything. You got one shot at leaving a footprint in life. Leave it the right way. So again, it's all about, you leave those pebbles in the pond, you get a ripple. You leave enough pebbles in the pond out there, you get the waves of change. So I need y'all to go back this thing and push this thing, promote it, share it, do whatever you got to, support it. Support means so much more than just financial. The power of the finger, use the right one, and you can go ahead and share this thing out and let more people know about it. So let everyone know about this. And for God's sake, let's get one more flipping backer so I can sleep tonight, because I'm not sleeping until you hit 200.
I know, that's what I've been checking.
So until this Saturday, we have Unscripted. So we're back on Unscripted this Saturday. We're going to close this one out tonight, but you do not want to miss out on this Saturday, as I have two newbies that'll be on there, which we're going to have some fun with. Marissa Pope and Courtney Dameron is going to be on there. So we're looking forward to seeing what kind of fun and shenanigans we're going to have on that one. And until next time, we will see you next time. Keep it into y'all. And by all means, stay safe and use your brain when you're dealing with all this cold weather and everything. Just leaving it out there.
Yeah.
Y'all have a great evening. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. I appreciate it. I have had a blast having y'all on the panel. And Lewis, if you're out there, we didn't kill it too bad, and I think we might actually get you that one backer tonight, because I'm not sleeping until we do. And if I got to get on here at 3 o'clock in the morning, I will. I swear, I'll do it. Until next time, keep it into y'all.
Thanks, everybody.
Had a great time. Later.